Hello. Welcome back. You may have noticed we have a guest joining us today.
A guest has arrived.
He's here. Basically what happened is we've been discussing off camera, obviously, our progress through the game. And with another very excellent streamer on this platform, thank you, another very excellent streamer on this platform has begun the game and found the 46th room within a matter of days. So clearly I need a little bit of mental assistance figuring these things out. So
To be fair, we also don't know how many hours it's taken Luke to do this, because you're a few hours in.
In the message that, I'm 15, 16 hours in, but I'm on day 24, 25, and he was saying that day 15 was near the end of their run. So clearly we got to speed things up a little bit. So I've brought on some extra help here. A man with different skills.
We're tag teaming it.
We're going to tag team the end.
So I started a separate playthrough, just more or less because I think I'm on day 3 or so in mine, but I haven't caught up to where she's at in a lot of the things. I don't have a lot of the outside stuff active yet, but I found a couple of things that she hadn't seen yet. So we're gonna go over those. I'll gently guide her to those things if and when I see them. And otherwise, we'll see if together we can't tackle what's going on.
Figure this puzzle out. So I think what I would like to do first is finish filling in the gaps on my
right, because you don't know what this message says.
I don't know what this message says yet. This one.
The one that all the words in the room spell out.
Yeah.
I mean, you're
I'm fairly close.
What do you have so far?
I have oughtn't, smell, gaze, 8 A's, crack 8 safes. So real comprehensible. Real comprehensible.
Her notes are quite a bit.
Oh.
I mean, we know that the last 3 lines are
crack 8 safes.
Crack
8
8
something
safes.
crack 8 safes.
And we know
it's got to be dates, right? 8 dates.
Correct.
Considering the other.
So, and what this tells me, what I'm factoring in, even barring that I already know the last couple letters that she doesn't have, but because we have SMAL blank.
That's got to be small.
GA blank ES.
Gates, probably. Or
Correct.
games.
Correct. Small gates.
Or gales.
Because, so what this... Small gates, 8 dates, crack 8 safes. Because remember, when you opened the small gate, you put in the date from the tree.
Yeah, I remember that.
And so, what the message is essentially telling you, you can fill in the top when you get there. It's nothing that changes the meaning of the bottom. It's
8 dates, crack 8 safes.
Crack 8 safes.
Okay. I mean,
so it's
very
helpful going forward, knowing that each safe that you're looking at, the code for it is a date.
Yeah, sure.
That really narrows down.
Sure. I don't think I've been kind of writing number codes as I go, but I don't think I have any other dates left somewhere. So they remain to be discovered, I suppose.
Yeah. But okay, let's have a look. The one thing I am curious about, we sort of disagree on the utility of this, but I think for this run, we get a bunch of steps. We'll check the outside room. We should go back to the chessboard.
You want to put the queen on D8 and see what happens.
In fact, I've got a motherfucking Excel spreadsheet that I've been keeping all my notes on. I have a couple of copies of the layout grid going. I've been taking notes in each room, noting what chess piece is in each room, that sort of thing. If you're keen, you can pull up that spreadsheet.
Got my own notes.
Okay, that's fair.
They may not be comprehensible to you, and they're barely comprehensible to me, but they do exist.
All right.
And I think I do have the every room that I've been in that has a chess piece has been scribed.
So the thing where I think we may have failed. It was a worthy attempt the last time you used the chess pieces. I'm guessing that like certain rooms, because they can't appear at the lower ranks, like you can't put the king on the second rank and then just walk into the room that has the king first, you know? I'm assuming you'll have to put that piece toward the top. We also know from the other room, or at least it told us, that the queen belongs, the queen on d8. Now, whether or not that's a specific instruction, and we need to figure out things, but I think we should put the queen on d8 and check it if we get the chance.
This is the queen, right?
That is the queen on d8. And then I think we should, as far as I know, maybe we'll like stick to like rank 3 or better for like the rook, bishop, and knight. And let's try just sticking one piece per rank. Only reason I'd hold off on that is because the West Wing rooms are all kind of like unique. They're competing for a larger drawing pool. Yeah, there you go. Yeah.
How about that?
King probably needs to go higher up. I imagine it can't appear that low. I could be wrong. But and then one per rank. I wouldn't put two on.
It's a little potato, you know?
Again, this is, I think, the most definite way. If we go...
let's take a picture of this.
I would just... Here, you can...
It's already done.
Screenshot.
It's already
using
done.
your phone, so, you know, it's got real, like, printing out your emails to read them vibes, you know?
Maybe that's how,
Taking
to have my emails.
Taking a screenshot of your screen with a phone.
What, in this day and age, you don't, like, print out your MapQuest directions when you need to go somewhere?
It's like taking a photo of your MapQuest directions, then uploading it into Google Maps, and then, turning it into a map for you.
And then printing it out again.
And then printing out that map, yeah. Anyway.
I'm curious about this, too. Like, this has got to belong to something, right? Like...
Yeah. I suspect that's related to the fountain, like where the fountain
leads down to. Yeah, like down to the basement underneath the foundation as well. I've still never come across the basement key.
I think you're correct. I think it's the sign in it is the thing that's in the freezer.
Yeah,
like key. There's that key that's in the freezer.
Yeah. Still haven't figured out how to undo that freezer. Now here's something I would like to talk to you about.
Yeah.
Because I think you pick the pieces we draft and then explain to me why you're drafting them. Because you seem to have a lot more success. Sean was telling me that he's been getting to rank 9 like every day. And I do not have that success, so I think you should be in charge of the draft, at least for today, and then like teach me your drafting strategy, I guess.
Okay, yeah. So I don't like the dark room this early. I'll draft it once I know where the like power, like the utility box is, but I avoid it until then because there's no sense in drafting blank rooms because that's a great way to ruin your run early if you're just drafting without being able to see. I would go either bedroom or library. Yeah.
Because presumably we want to save the library for higher ranks. Because you get rarer rooms.
Sure, and yeah. Okay. So from here, my goal already, I'm thinking with this, because we still know that on the main room, we have the option to go north and east. So from this room, my goal is to get to the bottom left corner.
Mm-hmm.
And even if that means using a hallway or whatever else, my goal is to get to the bottom left corner from here.
Mm-hmm.
So she's wearing, I don't know if it's in a
Yeah, I've seen her wear the moon pendant.
The pendant working.
Yeah.
Alright, so we can't go left from here. So my next, I would go for the spare room probably, I think, yeah. Alright. My goal, I'm turning left if I can because I want to be able to angle back down and make it and use up those rooms in the bottom left. So I would go that way. Also, have you been in... Oh, you have been in this room. Okay. I have not been in here, at least in mine. But, okay, a few
Yeah, we
items
still
around.
don't know about that. Significance of that.
Right. Sideways 8.
Like,
is there...
Oh, look! A treat. Nice.
There are 8 classrooms. I wonder if there's any significance to that. Oh, right, yeah, because this is where you have the puzzles where, like, you were sussing out more
Yeah,
of that.
these ones. Yeah.
And I have not paid a lot of attention to the lore of, like, each realm and, like, its diagrams and those little things. I kind of...
Yeah, I mean, that must be, like, deep lore.
Yeah, for sure. I haven't spent the time, like, studying all that stuff properly.
Like 8.
Okay.
You can redraw.
So, I would, yes. West Wing Hall is great. Okay. Yep, I'll take the corridor, and then ideally, now that we have a boxed-in room that's left on its own at the bottom, I will put a dead-end room here if available. Good spot for the nursery if you want to go ahead and burn.
Spend the gem.
Your last gem. It is early on. We shouldn't have a lot of rooms that require gems at this stage. I think I would go that route.
Okay. Intriguing.
Alright, so we've read the book in here. We know about the Red Prince. I don't think... Sometimes...
There's a gem here. At least we can recoup that.
Yep. Cool.
Let's see if there's a date in here. I mean, this is my mom, obviously.
Right.
I feel like I said this the first time I picked up the book, but the art style on this is just phenomenal.
Mm-hmm.
Like the mix of like watercolor and like pencils. Just great. Good job, art team. Okay, nothing jumping out at me there.
Cute. Pretty fun. Alright. One thing I noticed in here, and I've noticed this around the house.
In the corridor?
Yeah, it must be, there's some significance. So I've noticed quite a lot of rooms when there's fallen candlesticks. So to your right, there's a candlestick that's fallen. They almost always point directly to something. So if you look at the end of the couch there's that dotted line on the couch, and then on the back end of the couch there's like the drafting arrows. And I know, like,
Drafting arrows.
That arrow that's on the couch.
I mean, I see the arrow, but I don't know what a drafting arrow is.
Well, like, they're the kind of arrows that are drawn. They're drawn on all kinds of stuff all over the house. You see these arrows everywhere, and I'm thinking they're even in the logo, like on the blueprints, like like logo screen, like on the splash screen when you start up the game. There's these little arrows, kind of like sometimes they're straight, sometimes they're 90 degrees, and like every room has these drawn arrows. Sometimes they're in pairs, and some of them are hidden, like, fairly well. There must be...
Would this count for you as fairly well or not?
That's reasonably hidden, but, like, the candlestick points, and there's a couple other instances where there are fallen candlesticks that point to arrows like that. I have no idea what to do with this information yet, but I'm almost certain
Let's make a note.
There's too many to keep track of. Like, there are hundreds.
No, just the idea, like, the concept of this.
Yeah.
We gotta make a note.
They're the same arrows that are underneath all of
the paintings in the drawing room.
Yeah, but even, like, boards and pieces of paper on the walls will have arrows on them. Sometimes they're turned at 90-degree angles, sometimes not. I don't know if it's just part of the artwork and, like, theme and style of the game, but I can't help but think there has to be some significance or like meaning and way to utilize it somehow. But if it is, it's
Do you think these dashed lines are also significant?
Possible, but like if you start looking at the walls, I mean, there are hundreds of lines.
Yeah, I mean, I remember like
they
very early on, I remember like looking at something that was like this, where it looked like someone had like gone in with a pencil,
with a Sharpie,
and I was like,
drawn
oh,
all
that's
over the
really
walls.
weird. But at the time, I just was like, I mean, that must be like an artistic choice, you know,
Yeah,
like kind of the art style of the game.
And I think there's a lot of those around to sort of make the hit like the real ones less obvious, you know?
Because this, like, you know,
Yeah, just
that's
like
not even.
It's not quite like shading. I mean, it looks hand drawn.
Yeah.
But anyway, the like there's nothing to do with that info yet because there are way too many of these to keep track of. Oh, here there's another one.
Date.
There's another one in this hallway actually. So because you'll notice right there.
Let me start a list of dates. What's June? It's the 6th. Month. It's the 6th month. Death of Lady Clara. So maybe this is the date for her boudoir, the safe in her boudoir.
So if you look at this one, notice there's a fallen candlestick, and where is it pointing into? If you look inside that, on the inside, there are lines. There's 2 of them in there. And like that's way too hidden, but like there's something pointing at it.
What do we do with that?
Correct. It's one of those things where I think we'll learn later on how to utilize that information, but for now, it's a pattern that I'm noticing. Fallen candlesticks point to lines.
Yeah.
For some reason, like it happens too many times to just be a complete coincidence.
Yeah.
Anyway,
it's weird. It's weird that this is boarded up.
It's because the West Wing was like shut down and closed and taken out of action after Lady Clara died.
I mean, 10 years ago. It's 1993.
The gardener mentions the same thing. He's like, even though we don't do anything with the West Wing anymore, I still tend to the ground, even though nobody will see it.
I do remember that. Yeah. Yeah, you're right. I'm assuming we're continuing in this direction.
Now might be a good time to backtrack to the entrance hall before you keep going too far north, especially since we're down to 1 gem. I might go back to the entrance hall and either head east or north and start filling in some more of those rooms on the other side. If I had gotten some keys and more gems while heading that way, I would just keep going that way, but because we're low on that stuff, I would stick to the lower ranks.
Oh yeah, I started with
okay.
my extra items. It's so exciting.
Did you get to choose those, or was it just
it's random? It's too random. Although it's nice that I got the moon pendant. That was like an expensive.
Right, because that's the thing.
It's got arrows on it too.
Right, because that's the thing that lets you
keep items.
Keep the extra item. So I wonder if you always if the moon pendant is like one of the items you keep each time and you get another one, or if it was just randomly selected as one of the items. Huh. Anyway. Whatever, okay. I actually find I don't like the compass that much. Because I think if it makes it harder to fill in the lower rooms because it's constantly trying to turn you to the north. And it's harder to go.
I guess. You don't often pick up the compass this far south.
It's harder to go east and west, yeah.
We just happen to have it right now, so.
I would probably go hallway. since the game's going to be helping you get north anyway, so when you get chances to go east and west, I think that's
it's
the
that
route I would
same
go.
pattern on the couch, although there's no candlestick on this one.
Right. I mean, it's not like every arrow has a candlestick pointing to it, and this is actually just the exact same couch. So now whatever that,
Fuck that means.
right. It's also possible that it's meaningless, and that it is just random.
It's just the art style.
That's just drawn, But especially like those 2 arrows inside the vase is too weird a coincidence,
I'm assuming we're going this way.
Now's probably a good time for the
parlor, right?
Yep. What the hell was that?
The dryer. We just had this puzzle, I feel like.
So we don't know if the black box is false or not.
If this is false, then this would be true. I think that all the gems are in here, I'm fairly sure.
Pascal is like Rain Man with these things. I have no idea, like...
Do you understand how I figured this out?
No, because,
Okay, so... The box that tells us where the gems are is this one. Whether it's true or not.
Correct.
Right? So all we have to do is assess, like, okay, if this is true...
Right.
Then what do these have to be? If this is false, what do these have to be? It's a little bit harder to do it in this direction, because these could be kind of either, depending on whether that's true or false. So, okay, let's start on this side. If this is true, then the black box has to be false, which means the gems have to be in the true box.
Which would be
this one.
No, you said if that... Oh, right.
If
I see what you're
this
saying.
is
Yeah,
false,
yeah.
right, then
Yeah.
this is true, in which case the gems are still in this box.
Right.
Either way, they're in the blue box.
Yeah.
And in this case, the white box is just a red herring. It's irrelevant to
Sure.
the tail.
Yep. Nicely done. Yeah, you're much faster at those than me.
It's the only thing in the game I'm good at.
Okay, we have other options for going north, like quite a few of them. So this is the stage where I would start thinking about just going ahead and just planting a dead end, maybe. Because like you have 1, 2, 3 other doors in the house that lead north, so we're not likely to get blocked off. So this might be a reasonable time to go ahead and do that.
Get some keys?
Yeah, I think that's reasonable, and then grabbing the key here might make sense.
Oh, I didn't check the... Oh, okay. Never mind. Yeah, I mean, half of this shading looks hand-drawn anyway.
Right, I mean, it definitely is like the art.
Very
It definitely is
ambiguous.
the art style, but like I said, I feel like, I mean, those 2 lines drawn inside that vase at the bottom are
Yeah, that's
just...
pretty kooky.
They're... Right. Like, they're just too specifically placed to be random, I feel like, but we just don't know how to make use of those yet. Okay, so here it makes sense to me because we know if we take the reading nook, we'll draw the library next. And we know that the library is gonna turn to the right, which will take us north. Anyway, so like we know that we can continue filling in the house that way. Plus it's another key, which we need more of, so all that works out quite nicely. Also, let's check, where did we put our chess pieces? Are any of these lining up so far?
I mean, I don't know that we... The pawn was on B1.
Pawns are hard to know because half the rooms have pawns anyway.
Sure.
But the bedroom does have a pawn in it.
The bedroom does have a pawn in it. The bishop is on A3. Which we had the West Wing Hall, which I don't think has a piece in it at all.
Chess piece in there, right? Okay, so that doesn't seem to be. It's not like a guarantee. Although to be fair, but no, we drew the chapel. The chapel was one of your options when you drew that thing, and the chapel has a bishop in it. So it's not a guarantee.
We drew the chapel down here on B2. This is where we were considering putting the chapel.
Maybe you're right.
It wasn't up here, it was here.
Anyway, something to pay attention to. Maybe the idea to do this is we need to look at the chess pieces like when you're drafting. So like the next cell to check will be the one above the foundation. Mm-hmm. Anyway. Now
you have lots of options for going north.
Right. Which is what we expect, because, yeah, they cut us. But at least we knew we were guaranteed to get one that would continue this path, which is why
I get it.
Took that route. Kind of depends on... I'm not too fussed about any of these specifically. I think
in that case, let's get the gem.
Okay.
That also leaves us a way out. Mm-hmm. Instead of having to go all the way back around.
I mean, it's... yeah. Yeah, so I'm not sure if this one like is pointing to anything, or if it's like pointing to the candle, which like redirects you to another area, or if I'm reading way too much into that and none of that, it is just totally random.
I mean, maybe it could be these.
Who knows? I mean, I feel like it's pretty specifically like those drawn arrows, because they're always either flat or like 90-degree turns.
They're not like on the vase, are they? Really small?
Yeah, I don't think
so. Pretty teeny.
Anyway, like I said, it's not something that needs to be like discerned right now, because it's not like we have any clue what to do with that info, even if we find the arrow each time. But
maybe it would become clear if we saw more of them.
Maybe. It's one of those kinds of things. I think there's too many to try to keep track of before we know what to do with it. I don't know. I mean, you have plenty of gems. The passageway seems like kind of a waste. I would strongly consider redrawing floor plans here.
I mean, that was going to be my suggestion.
Yeah, okay. So. Nothing goes.
The other thing is, I do want to try and get the secret garden key. I don't remember where I found it.
I think it just turns up in different places, because I think I found it in the music room, but I don't know that it always is.
I found it as well.
Right, because the music room always has a special key in it, but it may or may not be that one.
Oh, right, okay.
Anyway, I would take security here and keep going.
You're the boss.
No reason to pass up the opportunity to connect to the foundation while you have it,
Sure.
But yeah, if you check the board to your left here, you'll see like it has those arrows drawn on it. And like when you start seeing this, you see those everywhere. Again, it could be an art style.
Yeah.
You notice that the letter I is missing from the keyboard. And this game has a theme of missing letters.
S, T, F, G, H, J, K, L.
Like all the other letters are there. It's also missing the numbers 7, 8, and 9, like on the keypad.
That's strange. There's
But
an arrow here too.
I don't know if that was just. Yeah, I don't know. Again, like
This is exhausting with the amount of shit you have to fucking pay attention to. Oh my god.
yeah, but like, does it matter? Does it not?
They all are.
Yeah, all the keyboards are missing the letter I. And again, like, is that significant or is it just Because again,
this now we do feel like we're getting into
like
red fucking
exactly like numerology territory.
He's like, there's no eyes on the keyboards. There's no eyes.
Yeah.
Everybody in this universe is like, what's I?
But honestly, like, because like you have.
Thinks dirty door, obviously.
You have that one message from the great Alzara who tells you, he's like, oh, you'll only ever find 7 of the 8 messages in the envelopes. He's like, just like the paintings on the wall, a letter is missing. Like there's always the theme of a letter.
Yeah, letters being missing. Yeah.
Can't you disable the security? Didn't you disable the security doors in the security room?
I don't have the breaker box. You have to turn the breaker box off. So I set the security level to low, so we'll find less of the doors.
Oh,
but in order to turn them off, we have to
that's right. That's
get the breaker box.
Right, not in the security room. Yeah, you just make them less common in the security room. Right, okay. I would probably redraw here, I imagine. No reason to, like, it's super risky to box yourself in here. There's something for you in the boudoir. I found something in here that you haven't seen. Bearing in mind now that
I
you
want to
notice...
try that lady's death date on this, or at least the date of that. Where did I write that down, please? Oh, but this is 15th. That's too many numbers. Unless it's 1983.
Also, why are you thinking that that person's death date has to do with this safe?
Because this is her boudoir.
This is...
the lady's boudoir.
Lady Clara Epson?
Yeah. Pretty sure.
How do you know it's Clara Epson's boudoir?
This is like a very vague a very vague memory of like all of the... There's something I read maybe in one of the library books that was like, oh, the bedrooms work together, and then there was a note about like the lady's boudoir works with this or whatever. Like, I'm fairly, like, also, if I just think about like, this is an estate house.
Sure.
This is the lady's boudoir.
But
why wouldn't it be the lady's boudoir?
But I don't think that's not like the lady that like lives here. I think it's like...
Well, she did. She died. She's dead now.
Well, I mean, sure, but also...
That's why they closed the West.
It's just like a friend of theirs, I think, or like someone... I don't know. Anyway, okay, you could try the other number, but yeah, you could try the year or the month and the day combo.
Like 0615?
Sure, yeah. June 15th, 1983. Okay, neither of those work. Okay. Exit this. You go. There's a photo in this room somewhere that you haven't looked at in a long time, and you skip it every time you come in.
This one with the safe in it?
Mm-hmm. Now, knowing that all of the dates, or all of the safe codes are dates, what date comes to mind when you see this photo?
I genuinely would never have thought of that. Yeah, I would have thought of that for sure. What the hell is that? Oh, it's a little thing.
It's a little stand that the gem was on.
What was the number of...
I think it was number 7 you found before.
The one where the lady was exonerating Herbert.
In the that was the one in the bunker.
Yeah.
I feel like it was number 7, but I don't know that for sure.
It was 12, 25, This was 11/28.
So now the other thing to remember,
This was variable.
I guess the date safe doesn't quite count, but the thing that I noticed too is like for both of these safes, like well, one was the gate code in this safe. Both of the codes were revealed by a photograph that had the like
The date in
thing
it
to
somehow.
unlock in it. So like there was a picture of the gate that had the tree next to it.
Yeah,
and that
I
was the
know
thing.
what you're talking about.
And
Yeah.
this was a picture of the safe, and the picture had the answer in both cases.
I would not have thought of that for sure. Wow, my dad was pissed. Okay.
Other
Some
thing-
more lore.
Inside the safe, like on the inner door of the safe, so it looks like that's like the bottom left. It's like the bottom left corner of something with like a holly leaf around it. The other thing to bear in mind is like there are 8 letters. It occurs to me that so like eight letters like make a square if like each one might have like a line if you need to put them together somehow. Just something to bear in mind. Like it just struck me as interesting that there was like a
remember the-
pattern drawn.
Was there
on the
one
door.
on the time lock safe?
Mhm.
A pattern like this?
Oh, on the door. I don't know. I wasn't looking for it and didn't notice it. This one is very obvious because the holly leaf
Yeah.
catches your
I
attention.
mean, I'll take a photo of it. That way we have the record. And then we can just go back to the footage of the
in case that
time
needs to be
lock
put
safe.
together later, but
Yeah.
yeah, because again, it's just one of those things. It could just be a style thing, but it just seems a bit too conspicuous, you know.
Yeah.
So when I'm in situations like this at this stage, I'm starting to get a little bit more nervous because this is our only. Well, I suppose we still have the West Wing Hall. Is our only route, and we're about to turn left and intersect with that. So basically, if we get blocked off, like with a room that leads to the west here, that's the end of the run. So even though I may not like it, I would choose the chapel here just so we have one more kind of exit route to go to.
Yeah. I mean, that's what I would do, I think. Oh, thank God.
Oh, this stays up
Oh,
each time.
thank
Okay.
God.
That's-
Jeez. I was thinking about that actually in the shower this morning. I was
That's
like,
really
man, that
interesting.
piggy actually really sucks because you have to fucking... you have to make all the pieces come together again, you know.
Right.
But if it actually saves, that's... Thank goodness for that.
Yeah, so once you've activated that, you can get
just
all your
use it.
cash back whenever you want.
Is it worth going back down?
Nah, I think because if you backtrack, best case, like you might make your way back up here. If you need to place a dead end room here, you can go back the other way and then place another dead end room in the other one. You know, but I think
Sure.
just go ahead and go west here. I think. classroom definitely takes you north, which is nice, and the extra classroom gives you like you'll have extra drafting options too, if you go that way. It does cost a gem though. I'm maybe more tempted to do just take the pantry. We're gonna draw a lot of classrooms this time because the outsider.
I'm surprised you wouldn't go for the keys in the garage. Or would you rather put that here?
Again, if you do that, just bear in mind you only have one more room that leads anywhere. If you block yourself off here, and you're running a very high risk of ending your run very early if you limit your.
Ooh.
Right. Okay.
We're learning something here.
Yeah.
Each classroom is a new grade, which means the classrooms will be different.
Right.
Okay, there's that.
Some more clues.
That's still number 8. Are we in a place where I don't have... We are in rank 5. I have all of the letters here. Oh, this is teaching you the... Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
I mean... You'll be annoyed if I don't look at that long enough and I miss something, but I can't imagine that's teaching us anything new, right?
Yeah, I think it's another way to learn how to
do that
with the billiards room puzzle.
It'd be pretty crazy if you hadn't figured that out. So I feel like you get the billiards room pretty. I'd pull it pretty consistently. But
I guess it would be hard to figure out because you need the magnifying glass and to read that one specific note in order to see how the rules work. You just got lucky and got that fairly early on. So
no, I didn't actually solve it from the note at all.
Yeah,
I puzzled it out without information.
You had seen the note before.
Yes, but I didn't remember that I did. I genuinely
okay.
I wasn't until later that you were like, yeah, you looked at the note, and I was like, what? I didn't remember.
Yeah.
Unless you really want to go into my.
You're right. The fact that you had seen it, you're at least primed to be thinking about that way because you've read the.
Yeah, maybe. Yeah.
At any rate.
Do you think the rooms that spread stuff, do you think it's a finite amount of things that get spread? Or do you think it depends on the number of rooms?
I wondered about that too. Like if you take the patio, does it always spread 5 gems, and if you only have one green room, they all go there?
Yeah.
I doubt it. I'm guessing you get that 1 gem goes to each green room that you have. That would be my guess. I've actually never done one of the spread options to know. In either case, I would redraw this and try to go north from here. You have 5 redraws, so why not?
Again?
Yeah, actually, also, hold on a second here. We're along the west wing, right?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, okay. Is there anything that useful in this study? I can't remember what's in there. I don't know that it's worth walling ourselves out.
There's the chessboard.
Also, why does it...
Which, just from the image, it looks like the queen's on d4 or d8 again. Do you know what I mean? You can see the little piece.
Oh, interesting, yeah. I'm still nervous. I would redraw again and see if we can get a room that goes north. Great. Either dining room or secret passage. Either way. Again, my kind of just to explain my sort of thinking, the general strategy here is I'm always trying to leave a second route open if I can help it. Like, I never want to be
that
left.
doesn't feel unlike my strategy. Like that is something I think about a lot, but I think previously I was just thinking like, okay, let's get rid of all of the shitty rooms down here.
Mm-hmm.
That way we've got like nice options available when we go in the higher ranks.
Yeah.
Anyway, it didn't work out, so we're abandoning that. No fallen candlesticks in here.
Okay, now because we're down to one key, this is when I would consider either going ahead and backtracking down to the West Wing Hall and go ahead and just planting a room in there, if you have the steps for it. Or if you don't want to do that just yet, I would definitely try to work my way east. But hopefully a dead-end room in here.
We can get all the steps back that we spent getting over here?
Sure. Or you can drop another classroom. I mean, it doesn't lead anywhere, but we have lots of classrooms to go through.
Yes, and we might learn something in grade 3.
Right.
See, the eye is here. It exists in this universe.
I tried
4, which I don't have.
When I noticed that, I also tried typing the letter I onto the into the password on the keyboard just to see, and you can type the letter I into the computer. So
Car and card. Here we go. Dates confirmed. What assignments are these kids working on?
all right. Okay, so this does kind of help you like with some of the other puzzles if you haven't like thought about them.
Ooh, the hall pass. Yoink. There's something about the hall pass that I learned. Oh,
Can you
gosh.
like craft something else with it?
Yeah, do you remember that?
No. I would not
Relatively
memorize that.
recently, I drew the book in the library that had information about which pieces you can put together in the workshop.
Mm-hmm. And it was like, because it was like, yeah, you just experiment with different stuff. Either way, when you get to the workshop, you can check and see what you can make with it. But
Well, it might not have been the workshop either. I might be remembering something else.
you're just thinking there was something about.
There's something about the hall pass, yeah.
Maybe it was just telling you about an item you hadn't seen before. I don't know.
Okay. Somewhere buried in the depths of my notes. This implies that there's something about this that I missed, or is this just
No, I
to
think
help
it's
you
just
figure out the puzzle in the lab?
right.
Okay. I wish there were more fucking hints for some of this other shit, man.
I mean, assuming you'll get them in the other classrooms.
What do you know about it?
Oh man. Yeah, I'm guessing, it starts off with the easier stuff, and then we'll get into the more, maybe by the time you get to eighth grade, it's teaching you like how to fucking read
It's just teaching
flat
you the game.
and 90 degree lines on the thing.
North from here?
I would try to keep working east until you have more keys.
Well, I mean, I can't go east, so
Well,
we either go to the dining room or we go north from here. Like, I don't know what you want me to do. Like, we can't go. There's nowhere to go east.
Sorry, I would try to make my way east before you go any further north. I would go north, like.
Okay, so you want me to go north from here, or do you want me to go to the dining room and go north?
No, do not go to the dining room to go north. We're trying to go
north
east.
from here.
Correct.
Okay.
I mean, if north was the only option, I'm not sure why you asked, but I assumed.
I mean, there's. It doesn't matter. There's two options, and it doesn't matter.
From which door should we go north?
We are host.
We should go.
We're host.
Yeah. See, I mean,
we might as well get the closet and recoup some items. Like, see if we can get some items, because the moon pendant will keep 2 of them for us.
Well, I suppose. Yeah, I guess that is true. I was gonna say the other thing. Yeah. That's fine.
What was the other thing you were gonna say?
No. I'm all good. Yeah, I like that idea. We'll also find out if one of the items you always keep is
the moon pendant. Yeah.
You also might get a key card. Be red. No such luck. Yeah, I'm also like getting the sense with a couple things I was looking at that it's actually going to be fairly important to like figure out and keep track of who is who.
Mm-hmm.
There's lots of references to like people's names, and so I think like being able to recognize pictures of people and that kind of stuff will be helpful. Anyway, okay, so yeah, so I mean, it's inevitable sometimes, but yeah, we're in a situation where we only have one way to go. We have no keys. There's a good chance we're just gonna be stuck here. Yeah. Hold on, before you do that, let me just give it a quick thing. Let's go like take a look at the chessboard outside. I don't think it will have done anything, but like we do have the one room I think that has a pawn in it that matches the pawn that we put down. Maybe does the chessboard look differently as a result now that we've drafted over it? You know, it's worth taking a look at since we have nothing else to do.
Gets to rank 9 every time, unless I'm here.
Yeah.
I'm the bad luck charm, darling. It's me. I'm the problem.
I think in this particular case, the compass was actually far more of a hindrance because I think it messed with the rooms you would have drawn because it was constantly trying to. It just made you go north and you ran out of keys. You know, like we couldn't go east or west very easily at all. I think the compass actually kind of sucks. My point is, I don't think you're bad luck. I think the compass posed to serve.
Just the way we left it.
Okay. unknown then. Like neither of the things that I thought it might do seems to be doing. So I'm not sure what the significance
What's
is.
in the boudoir? Pollen?
I'm pretty sure.
Sure. Alright, well...
Can you get to that outer wall in here and check out, like, is that something written?
The outer wall? I don't know.
Sorry, not the outer wall. Like, yeah, go down there and then turn left. Nope, no. Back in. Sorry. Like, the outside wall of this room. Yeah, there you go. Like, is that something written on that?
I mean, I don't know what you're talking about.
Where those rocks have fallen down, there's, like, some, like, sketching or mark. Okay. Just from the other... I couldn't tell if that was something, like, written on there that we need to go look at.
Some shading, I think.
Yeah, for sure. Okay.
Yeah, I think it's, like, this equivalent.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Okay, well, I'm gonna be honest. We accomplished nothing.
We opened the safe that you... Like,
That's
we got one of those opened.
That's true.
I really think that you can see from the map here, the compass screwed us over because it just led you north.
Yeah, you made your point. Yeah. But not a particularly successful run, I don't think.
Nah.
And it took us an hour, so this is a good place to call it.
Yeah.
Call it a night. An academic, well, we did learn some
Right.
things.
And we also
learned how to say what gas is, or what water is in different states of matter.
we know now that the classrooms are going to provide, assuming presumably progressively better hints as you get higher in the grades. So if you draft a schoolhouse and can just put down
It's
all
worth
the classrooms
putting down a
you
lot
can.
of classrooms, yeah.
Right.
Yeah. For sure. Alright.
Thanks for having me on your show.
Welcome. It was nice. I didn't have to make that many decisions, which felt pretty relieving.
Yeah. All right, great to see you. Goodbye, everyone. Goodbye.
Bye.